Okay, howdy, IB seniors, and hopefully everyone's feeling good. This message is coming a little bit late with your paper one exam just around the corner. It's tomorrow, if my calculations are correct, but hopefully you've done the work. So, my guys, you should have done the work by now. You should know what it's all about, what it looks like, and you should have been doing the practice. We've done our mocks, we've done our practice, but just wanted to give you one more message today, just to give you that last little push towards the finishing line and to give you one final important message. So, when it comes to paper one, you should know what it's all about. Of course, it's non-fiction. SLs, you do one essay, and HLs, you do two. You are reading a text you've never seen before, and you're answering a question. Okay, so basically, want to make sure that you are ready to go. My final big important lesson beyond what we've already talked about. I mean, we know what we're doing by now. But the final important lesson is to make sure you have the right focus going into the exam tomorrow. I want you to go in there feeling confident and to take a bit of a different focus that maybe sometimes we go in there. Sometimes we go in there and we're kind of stressed, we're under the pump, and we're looking for what's the secret answer, what is the teacher looking for, what's the examiner looking for, what's the secret message, what are the special techniques that are being used, and that's possibly what is getting some of you going in the wrong direction. So we want to make sure that we are not taking the wrong focus. I would suggest that you go in there feeling confident tomorrow and that you look and you say, what does the text say to me? Not looking for what's the secret answer, not looking for what do I have to tell the examiner? What are they looking for? Not doing as I've done on this little one here and just jumping straight in and looking for every little technique and starting off your response with it uses alliteration, it uses the second person pronouns. That's not really the best focus. Diving in, freaking out, trying to find the secret. Your best bet is to jump in, have a look, take a breath, zoom right out, have a look for what is going on, and then look for what do you want to say about the text. This is your chance to show that you are a critically thinking student and that you can break down a text and come to your own personal response on it. So this is one thing that I've noticed. Students often go in with the wrong focus. And as I've been telling my guys a lot, that I've seen it over and over again, students don't zoom out first. So the idea that zoom out, look for that big picture before you even get the highlighter out, before you go looking for the secret message, before you go looking for every single little device, you should zoom out, look at the headlines, look at the format, look at the structure, look at the pictures. What's the feeling you get from it? What's the purpose the author has put in there? And then start to look closer. So that's my number one big message for you. I'm assuming you know the rest of it, but that's my number one big ticket item for you to take in. Don't stress. Go in there looking for what you want to say about the text. Go in there zooming out, looking for the big picture first. Once you've got the big picture, then in an exam situation, my next tip would be to go through chronologically. Walk your way through it. Look for the ideas that jump out. You've zoomed out. You know what this whole text is about. You know the author's purpose. You know how you responded to it and how you felt about it. And now walk through it and pick each idea. Obviously, you're going to be guided by the question, but the questions are usually fairly much the same. They're looking for how did you respond? How did the author want you to respond? How did they use language? How did they use visuals? It's the same questions. So you generally, good practice for you to look at how do I respond? What did the author want? Zoom right out and then walk through chronologically. And I would suggest chronologically in an exam because it allows you to look at what's the message and how is it being developed over time? How is it evolving from one step to the next? And how is it building in order to influence the reader? And in exam, you don't have time to create a beautiful thesis and mastermind it in some kind of awesome organized structure, chronologically is the easiest way for you to go through and get everything you want. Okay, so that's my idea. Walk through chronologically, find the big ideas, not just looking for all the techniques. Look for the idea and then combine the techniques with it. So go, this is the big idea of the text. It's trying to influence me in this way. This is how I respond to it. The first way it does that is this idea, and the idea is developed through the use of these techniques. Yes, so you are not just diving in and going, oh, there's a symbol here. You are going in and going, well, the idea is that we need to do something to help the environment because the environment's really struggling and it's an urgent point in our history. And the author is using an expert opinion, and the diction and the connotation is developing urgency, and the symbolism of red is working. So you're not just diving in looking for the technique, look for the idea, and then find the techniques that go with that idea in that section of the text. I think that's a smarter way to attack it. Then you want to embed these quotations. Don't just put big slabs of quotations. You want to say what you want to say and find the little pieces that fit into what you're saying. And then when I say amplify your quotes, that's kind of what I mean. Add that language analysis. The symbolism here is doing this, and the language is doing that. The connotation of this word, the semantic field developed around the collection of these words, the tone with which it's delivered. This is giving us an idea, giving us a technique, and amplifying with language analysis, which is what those big time players do. The special gold comes in if you are starting to use that language of intent and impact. That's what we want to get to. And a lot of my team are starting to get that, which makes me very happy. And if you are just getting into this right now, something to remember going in. When you're reading, what's the intent? The author's intent should be explicitly in your writing. The author intended this, and the reader responded with that. The author wanted you to think this. The author wanted you to feel that. The author intended this to happen. You respond. You can agree, you can disagree, whatever you want. You are being positioned by the author to respond in a certain way. Does it work? Does it not work? Showing that critical understanding is where the gold is. And if you can do that, combined with, the author intended this, he used all these techniques to do that, it was very effective, and it made the reader feel this, and that's how it worked, you're going to do very well. So that's a good formula for you to remember. And so that's pretty much the big game day plan for me. Just to sum it up and put it nicely in a way, I would say the game plan for the day is not to stress. Go in there, reset, sit down, get focused, take a few deep breaths to calm your mind. Trust that you are prepared. You've done 2 years of doing this kind of work so that you're ready. Do a first read the questions, look at the format, take it in, and trust that first instinct. What's the big picture? What's it all about? Okay, go through it, looking for the what's going on, who is this for, why, before you zoom in. So that first few minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, is zooming out. What am I taking in here? What's the big picture? And then starting to zoom in as you start to go through. You're looking, what is the text type? Who's the audience? What's the purpose? What's got you first? And then zoom in even closer, read it again, and go through and annotate. As I said, go chronologically. Look for the techniques that go with these big ideas as you go through a second time. What's the effect? How do they work to make you feel? What did the author want you to feel? Look for the tone shifts, and then plan your essay. Take time. Don't take all the time in the world, but 10 minutes is probably a good time. If you are a quick writer, then take time and really plan it. Your introduction, indicate the text type, the purpose, give a strong thesis that answers the question, and then into your body paragraphs. You should hopefully get the idea of this formula. Answer the question, embed your quotations, amplify with the author intended. This is the effect. Use all those techniques that you can pull around the idea. That's a great formula for you to use. And then write. You want to write for a good hour if you can, and maybe leave a bit of time for editing at the end. So remember, embed your quotations. The analysis is deep when you start looking for intention, when you start looking for reader response. Focus on clarity and control. I tell my guys all the time, clarity is king in an exam. Don't try to swing for the fences and go for the big, massive Hail Mary shot, because in the exam, they're not looking for you to be magic. They're looking for you to show that on any given day, I can break things down and give you a good response. So do the structures, focus on good response. Okay. And then spend a few minutes to finally check, edit. Grammar, language does count. See if you can show that you've really put some consideration into it. And that's the game plan. And it's on tomorrow. For my guys, if you're listening to me, I've got total faith you guys have put in the work. We've done this. You know all these structures. Now, get yourself ready so tomorrow you wake up feeling good. Get yourself ready so you've got the right energy and you're fueled well. Listen to the right song as you come in. Come and chat to me before if you have to so you get confidence. Walk in there and follow the game plan and you'll be fine. You've got this, and I wish you all the best of luck for this final push. We've got paper one and then there's paper two. Check out my video on paper two if you need that last minute help. And I wish you all well. All the best.